It's Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim HaKakwadash. And of course, double honors once again goes out to the apostles of Great Millstone who, through the Spirit, taught all of us His truth. All right. Wow, this is Nam the DC camp once again. And once more proving that these Edomites, these so-called white people that you call today, refer to them as so-called white. It says, they want to be on a level of the Most High, or maybe even superior to. All right. It says the brain implants that could change humanity. So let's start off with a scripture here. Change humanity. All right. They want to. This is Revelation chapter 13. All right. Verse 13. Let's see. Actually, I'll start at 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon." Talking about this political system that we have here. All right. We have these opposing sides, but they all speak the same thing. They just do it. They come at you different ways. Verse 12, "And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed," going from ancient Rome to what is now the revised Roman Empire. Hey, America and this whole system is the system of Edom. All right. It says 13, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man." Think of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, who they just recently celebrated the 75th anniversary. All right. It says in 14, "And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by his sword and did live." What I say about the revised Roman Empire. 15, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." All right. So now he's doing all these miracles. All right. What was that movie that came out? Oh, man. Where the guy was, I think he was a paraplegic, and they put this chip. And, something similar to in the Matrix where Neo was, they could download this information to him, and now all of a sudden he knows Kung Fu and all this. That's what they're trying to get to, which in real life would pose a whole heck of a lot of problems right off the bat, because your body, when you think about that, hasn't been trained for things like that. That's something, it's more beneficial to learn over time than just snapping a switch. And you'd be real miserable there. It says Jack Gallant never set out to create a mind-reading machine. His focus was more prosaic. He said, a computational neuroscientist at the University of California, Berkeley, Dr. Gallant worked for years to improve our understanding of how brains encode information. What regions become active, for example, when a person sees a plane or an apple or a dog, and how that actively represents the object being viewed. By the late 2000s, scientists could determine what kind of thing a person may be looking at from the way the brain lit up. A human face, say, or a cat. But Dr. Gallant and his colleagues went further. They figured out how to use machine learning to decipher not just the class of thing, but which exact image a subject was viewing. Which photo of a cat out of 3 options, for instance. And then it says one day at his postdocs, he got to talking. In the same way that you can turn a speaker into a microphone by holding it up backwards, they wondered if they could reverse engineer the algorithm they developed so they could visualize solely from brain activity what a person was seeing. All right. Like I say, these people All right, they seek to be on a level of the Most High. Let me get a scripture for that, because let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28. It says, the word of the Most High Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High, I sit in the seat of the Most High in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. All right. And it goes on to say, let's see. Well, that's it. Let's go back to the article. You get the point. But yeah, they, and it talks about in Daniel about, knowledge increasing. And when you really think about it, how fast this has come, when you think of the so-called Industrial Revolution, all right, and you look at by decade, let's just say started from the beginning of the 20th century, all right, into where we are today. And you go like, wow, just in the last, let's just say 100 years. I was going to say the beginning, but let's just say from the 20s, all right? Say, wow, how far technology has gone. And of course, this pales in comparison to what the Most High, can do. And pretty soon Esau is going to find that out on his own. But, that's part of him being, his pride lifting him up beyond his ability to reason. All right. It says the experiment focused just on a subsection of the visual cortex. It didn't capture what was happening elsewhere in the brain. How a person might feel about what she was seeing, for example, or what she might be fantasizing about as she watched. The endeavor was, in Dr. Gallant's words, a primitive proof of concept. And, and I'll go as far as to say this, who knows what they have for real, because we know that, these Edomites are some cunning devils, all right? We know that they hold back a lot. Don't believe for a second that what you see is the extent what they have. You got to remember, this man's proud. He's going to try to fight the Most High, or the Lord when he comes back, Yahweh Shai. All right? Enough of this. This is like boring science stuff. You can read that at your leisure, but let's see. It says, for decades we've communicated with computers mostly by using our fingers and our eyes, by interfacing via keyboards and screens. These tools and the bony digits we prod them with provide a natural limit to the speed of communication between human brain and machine. We can convey information only as quickly and accurately as we can type or click. What technologies will power the brain-computer interface of the future is still unclear. And if it's unclear how we'll read the brain, it's even less clear how we'll write to it. This is the other holy grail of brain-machine research. Technology that can transmit information to the brain directly. We're probably nowhere near the moment when you can silently ask Alexa, what's the capital of Peru? And have Lima materialize in your mind. That's what they're trying to do. All right. It says Raphael Youst, I guess that's how you say it, a neurobiologist at Columbia University, counts two great advances in computing that have transformed society. A transition from room-sized mainframe computers to personal computers that fit on a desk and then in your lap. In the advent of mobile computing with smartphones in the 2000s, non-invasive brain-reading tech would be a third-grade leap, he says. What was that movie with Johnny Depp, Transcendent? See, that's what they're trying to do, merge man and machine together, all right? Transhumanism. It says not many people will volunteer to be the first to undergo a novel kind of brain surgery, even if it holds the promise of restoring mobility to those who've been paralyzed. What did I say about, what was that movie? Dang it. Oh, man. I can't think of it. So when Robert Kirsch, chairman of the biomedical engineering at Case Western Reserve University, put out such a call nearly 10 years ago, and one person both met the criteria and was willing, we knew we had a pioneer on his hands. The man's name was Bill Kochevar. He'd been paralyzed from the neck down in a biking accident years earlier. His motto, as he later explained it, was, "Somebody has to do the research." So he volunteered to be the guinea pig, all right? At that point, scientists had already invented gizmos that help paralyzed patients leverage what mobility remained, lips and eyelid to control computers or move robotic arms, but Dr. Kirsch was after something different. He wanted to help Mr. Kochevar move his own limbs. The first step was implanting 2 arrays of sensors over the part of the brain that would normally control Mr. Kochevar's right arm. Electrodes that could receive signals from those arrays via computer were implanted into his arm muscles. The implants and the computer connected to them would function as a kind of electronic spinal cord, bypassing his injury. Once his arm muscles had been strengthened, achieving with a regimen of mild electrical stimulation while he slept, Mr. Kochevar, who at that point had been paralyzed for over a decade, was able to feed himself and drink water. He could even scratch his nose. What he tell about those wonders, all right? And people are going to be convinced and thereby deceived by them, all right? And that's going to lead to more people taking this chip. That's what they're drumming up